There's a lie that authoritarian movements want us to believe, that unless we're leading a huge march of people, what we're doing doesn't matter. Fascism thrives on that myth. But history and the movements happening around us tell a different story. Every act of resistance, from a strike that halts an industry to a conversation that changes a person's political views, is a thread in the larger tapestry of collective power. So let's examine all the many types of activism, both big and small, that can make a difference. For busy people, there are examples of small activism that can make big waves. For example, phone calls and emails to local representatives. In several U.S. cities, organized waves of constituent calls have halted anti-trans legislation, blocked anti-protest bills, and pressured city councils into funding mutual aid efforts instead of police expansions. Boycotts also might start small. In 2020, a handful of teenagers on TikTok helped derail a Trump rally by coordinating ticket reservations they never intended to use. A few small clicks created a huge political embarrassment. And there's local library defense. Moms, teens, librarians, and volunteers quietly showing up to school board meetings have stopped book bans in dozens of districts. 10 people reading calmly from banned books can shift a room in ways a headline-grabbing protest sometimes can't. And of course, community-based mutual aid. During the pandemic, tiny neighborhood groups started delivering groceries and medication to people who were isolated. Some of those small pods turned into permanent local power structures. Micro examples of dual power. Every one of these little acts creates friction that slows the gears of authoritarianism. And when enough friction builds up, the machine grinds to a halt. So what are some other forms of activism, and what kind of impact can they have? Mass protests disrupt normalcy and demonstrate collective power. Some examples might include the Women's March, the George Floyd uprising, and climate strikes. Direct action stops harm at the point of production. By blocking pipelines or halting deportation vans, the people can defend their community more effectively. Boycotts, like we're currently seeing with Starbucks and Amazon, create economic pressure and draws public attention to the widespread dissent. Labor strikes and worker organizing interrupts profit and builds worker power. It wins concrete demands and destabilizes corporate fascist alliances. Mutual aid builds dual power, strengthens community resilience, and undermines the fascist narrative of isolation and scarcity. The people can provide community fridges, rent relief funds, or free brake light clinics. Digital activism can help shape public narratives by mobilizing people who can't physically attend actions. Some examples might include social media campaigns, live streams, or online teach-ins. And then there are other examples like culture work, which shifts imagination and normalizes progressive values. Policy advocacy and lobbying is a great way to slow or block harmful legislation. You can also influence local budgets and protect vulnerable groups. Make phone calls and send emails to your representatives. Court support and jail support includes activists who want to protect people and keep legal systems accountable. So showing up to hearings and fundraising for bail is a great example of this. And finally, just having everyday conversations and community building. Open doors to political awakening, counter misinformation, build networks of trust that movements depend on, debunk myths at work, talk with your neighbors, host reading groups. Because every form of activism matters. Your action matters, your voice matters, and your refusal to look away matters. Every time we push back, the movement grows one size larger and fascism shrinks one size smaller. Thanks for watching, and let me know in the comments your favorite form of activism.